There are some games that make a lot of sense on mobile. XCOM and Company of Heroes, both games I've covered, they make sense. Games that don't need pinpoint accuracy, twitch reflexes, or complex controls in order to be a fantastic experience. So Feral Interactive, who ported both those previously mentioned games to mobile, thought, you know what else would make sense? Alien Isolation. Oh yeah, that's a great idea. Sorry, what? The critically acclaimed first-person survival horror game from 2014 on mobile? It may not seem to make much sense on the surface, but I think it's actually quite a neat fit. You don't need accuracy, you don't need quick reflexes, and the controls are simple. Plus, it's old enough to where the graphics should be able to be dumbed down to a level where they'll run well on a phone, hopefully. So, was it a good idea then? Is Alien Isolation worth playing on the computer in your pocket? Let's find out. Also, quick disclosure, I was provided a review code for this video, and also, if you can hear some weird noise in the background, apparently we're having our worst rain event in 20 years, and having 2 months of rain in about 6 hours. So, if you can hear that, I apologise. And if you don't see any more uploads from me, then you know what's happened. Now, while I will be covering how the game plays on its fresh platform, this is more of a technical review. I think the consensus for Alien Isolation is very well established at this point, and there's a ton of material online about the actual game quality, which of course is fantastic, as we all know. What I'm really here for is to deduce whether a game like this can be a good experience on mobile at all, how it runs and plays, and if it's had to be gimped in order to get it into a playable state. Let's start with how you can play it. While it is available on both Android and iOS, this is primarily an iOS review, as I don't actually have any Android devices to test it on. I would assume performance of analogous Android devices to be in the realm of the iOS ones that I'm testing it on, an iPhone 13 Pro Max and an older iPad Pro 10.5 inch from 2017, but I can't be certain, so just keep that in mind. There is a compatibility list on Feral's website though, and the TLDR is that for iOS you'll need either an iPhone from the last few years, or any iPad Pro, or a semi-recent iPad or iPad Air. For Android it is more complicated thanks to the vastness of devices available, but anything on their website means you're of course good to go, and if you have a phone with similar specs to that, then I'd say you'll be fine too. Right, onto the actual game. After a decent download in the App Store, as well as one in-game for its DLC, you'll be greeted with a familiar menu where you can choose what mode you want to play and the options you can change. There's a good number of things to customize to fit your preferences, like controls, subtitles, and graphical options. Once you do start the game, you'll notice right away how good it looks, and I can't believe this is running on a phone. All this footage you're seeing here is captured on my iPhone unless mentioned otherwise. The lighting quality in particular is astounding, and textures look really great considering this is on a phone. And the performance is fantastic. It's worth mentioning that there are 2 graphical settings to choose from in the options. I would absolutely recommend you stick with performance, as that keeps the frame rate at a beautifully smooth and constant 60 FPS, which is just great to play. The graphics mode seems to be at around 30, and to my eye it doesn't really look much different. It's only in this side-by-side comparison where you can really see any difference. It is a little different on the iPad, at least on mine. It may be different for newer ones that are more powerful. For one, the performance option is gone, replaced with one called Battery Saver. I'm not exactly sure what the differences are, but they look pretty much the same to me. And unfortunately they're both hovering at around 30 FPS. Playing at 60 really is so much better, so that was a bit of a shame. One of the big issues with mobile games is their controls, and a game like this could absolutely crumble with bad ones. But I'm glad to say they've been done very well here. I played some decent mobile shooters that have been absolutely ruined by their inputs, and this is certainly not one of those. There's a left stick for movement, and you can look around by using a virtual stick on any part of the right side of the screen. There's then dedicated touch points for things like crouching and such. While initially it was a bit to get your head around, honestly within 5 or 10 minutes they became second nature and I wasn't even needing to look at the screen to use them. Great job. Surprisingly, I think I preferred the actual play experience on the iPad instead of the iPhone in terms of controls. Having them be out of the way meant I could focus on what was happening, and spend less time trying to look under my fingers to discern what was on the screen. I can imagine this would be a lot worse on smaller iPhones. My 13 Pro Max is obviously quite big, but playing this on an iPhone 13 mini or an SE would probably be a lot harder. It's a shame the iPad is so heavy, because after a few minutes it got pretty uncomfortable, and I just wished I was kind of holding my phone again. Damn, it's almost like controlling the game using a lightweight device and looking at the game on a big screen mounted elsewhere would be the ideal way to play. Man, someone should really invent that. Rightio, this is a quick video, but let's move on to the conclusion. This is a great port. Once again, Feral Interactive shows that they know how to get a game on mobile and get it in a fantastic state. After Company of Heroes, XCOM, Total War, Grid, and a ton of others, and now this, I swear those guys could port anything to mobile and make it enjoyable. While Alien Isolation is a niche game already, made even more so here by the fact that we're talking about a mobile release, if you are in the target market for this, then you will not be disappointed. And if you want to pick it up, you can get it right now on iOS and Android on their corresponding app stores for $15 US. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what I do here, consider supporting me either here on YouTube with a membership or by becoming a patron on Patreon. You'll join legends like T-Edits, Crispy Rubber Chicken, Alan, David DeBolye, Overlord Jeebus, Crizzy218, Dekayo, and Standby for Systems Nominal. Thanks again, and I'll see you all next time.